This story's actually from just over a month ago, or actually just about 1 month ago. Eleanor Williams jailed for 8.5 years after rape and trafficking lies. 22-year-old from Barrow posted photos on Facebook falsely claiming she'd been abused. Whoa. This is crazy. Man, this takes me back to the old early days of intersectional feminism on YouTube and the false accusations trending all over the country. So this takes place in the UK. And I saw this story. I believe Andrew Tate posted it. I could be wrong. But there's something interesting here. You may be looking at a story of a woman who falsely accused men of trafficking and finally got some comeuppance. And many men's rights activists or anti-feminists may be going like, wow, look at how times have changed. A woman lied about being raped and she got arrested for it? Here's the issue. I don't think the woman actually ever accused someone in a criminal sense. And so when I saw this, I said, wow, here, look at this. Why did Eleanor Williams frame innocent men for rape and trafficking? What has happened? Are you celebrating yet? I'm sorry. Maybe it's time you stop. Take a look at what the story actually is. A woman has been jailed for 8.5 years after being found guilty of lying about being raped and trafficked by an Asian grooming gang and making false rape claims against a series of other men. So I believe it may be actually criminal. I'm not sure she actually went to the police, though, but let's read. Eleanor Williams from Barrow-in-Furness was convicted in January of 9 counts of perverting the course of justice. Okay, so I think that is the case. I was wrong. Sentencing her at Preston Crown Court on Tuesday. The judge, Mr. Justice Altham, said her allegations were complete fiction and criticized her for showing no significant signs of remorse. Her claims went viral during lockdown in May of 2020 when she posted photographs of herself on Facebook covered in shocking bruises, with a black eye and partially severed finger. She said she had been beaten and made to attend sex parties by evil yet clever Asian men, mostly Pakistani business owners. And there it is. Okay, well, it goes down the middle of the road. This is the story of a woman who apparently lied about being raped and is now getting some comeuppance. But unfortunately, it seems the only reason they're actually going after her is because she accused Pakistani business owners. That is to say, many of the stories that we've actually seen over the past few years have been white men falsely accused, and they're immediately assumed to have been the villains. In this instance, a white woman accuses minority men, and she's immediately assumed to be the villain. So, okay, I guess that's where we're going. This is how the system works, I guess. The allegations spread far beyond Cumbria and sparked a global solidarity campaign, Justice for Ellie, with more than 100,000 Facebook members. In its own line of merchandise featuring a purple elephant, and prompted rallies over the UK amid allegations of a police cover-up. And guess what? I'm willing to bet it was conservatives who were rallying on her behalf. Cumbria police recorded 151 crimes linked to the case in 2020, including malicious communications and harassment, as well as criminal damage and public order offenses. Hate crimes tripled in Barrow that summer. In a letter to the judge on Tuesday, Williams maintained her innocence, but said she was sorry and devastated how her Facebook post affected Barrow. I understand that it's your job to believe the jury's verdict, and that's okay. I know I have made some mistakes. I'm sorry. I know it's no excuse, but I was young and confused, she wrote. I'm not saying I'm guilty, but I know I have done wrong on some of this, and I'm sorry. I'm devastated at the trouble that was caused in Barrow. If I knew the consequences would have come from this status, I never would have posted it. The judge said Williams held limited responsibility for the community tensions resulting from her Facebook post. Some community impact was foreseeable, he said. But he said the consequences of her lies for the criminal justice system were far-reaching, adding, there is a risk that genuine victims will be reluctant as a result of this to come forward. Despite the focus on Asian groomers, by the time Williams made her Facebook post, she had been charged with multiple counts of perverting the course of justice. Wow. What? These include making false claims against 3 young white men, one of whom, Oliver Gardner, simply had the misfortune to ask her for a light in the street. Another, Jordan Trengrove, spent 73 days in prison on remand after she falsely accused him of raping and drugging her at knife point. So, here's what I'm trying to say. Part of me felt like when I saw this story, the only reason they took action was because she had started accusing Asian men of being the groomers, right? And if you've ever seen stuff by like Tommy Robinson, it seems like often certain groups are allowed to get away with these things. But ultimately, this is the story of a woman who is falsely accusing a bunch of people and probably does deserve to go to jail. They say Williams reserved her wildest accusations for a Barrow businessman, Mohammed Ramzan. You see, and that's where it maybe comes in. Known locally as Mo Rami, Ramzan, now 43, told Preston Crown Court he had only met Williams once, briefly at a family party. Williams said he was in fact the head of an international grooming gang who first had sex with her age 12 or 13 and then trafficked her and dozens of other girls around northwest England and abroad. Trengrove, Gardner, and Ramzan all said they tried to kill themselves as a result of being falsely accused, so it's good she's being charged. Trengrove and Ramzan were in court on Tuesday to see Williams sentenced. Outside court, jurors who had been invited to return for the hearing hugged the men and shook their hands. Man, that's got to be brutal for these guys. Williams thanked the judge after he passed sentence, then waved goodbye to her sister, Lucy, and her mother. Alison Johnston. Lucy gave evidence for the prosecution after Williams claimed that she had been trafficked by Ramzan to Amsterdam and sold at a brothel to the highest bidder. In fact, the sisters had gone together to Amsterdam to celebrate Williams' 18th birthday. Williams had 6 mobile phones she used to create fake identities and manipulated the Snapchat accounts of real men she had met via the dating app Tinder or subscribers to her account on OnlyFans, the erotic photo sharing site, to make them look like they were Asian abusers. Police were also able to prove that one Snapchat account that purported to belong to Trengrove and which seemed to be goading her about the rapes had in fact been created using the Wi-Fi at the Williams family home on Walney Island in Barrow. Now, here's what I want to add to this story. Here's what y'all need to understand. This woman was making fake social media posts to make herself a victim and accuse men who were innocent. All right. Imagine where we go with AI deepfake technology. There was a story the other day I saw where someone claimed they called this mother and they played an AI voice deepfake of the woman's child saying that she'd been kidnapped. Imagine what's going to happen now. Let me help you understand. It is already being used in court, and there is nothing you can do about it. If someone makes a fake recording of your voice, the judge will accept it, period. That's it. Nothing you can do. How are you going to prove to a judge it's not a real recording? You go to court, and the police, or let's say you're being sued, they say, here's an audio recording of the person admitting it. And they play a recording and it sounds just like you saying, you know what, man, here's what I did. And boy, did I enjoy it. And then you're going to be like, that's not a real recording. That's not me. And they're going to be like, listen, we all just heard you say it. And you'll say, it's got to be a deep fake. And they'll say, prove it. And then what you'll do is you'll go find a forensics expert and they'll explain, here's why this is fake. The jury will look at the waveform and be like, I have no idea what that means. Then the prosecutor or the person suing you, the plaintiff, will then get their expert who will be like, actually, that's incorrect. Look at the waveforms. It's real. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's where we are. I want to stress that again. I can only say it this way. I know for a fact judges are already accepting deep fake evidence. Now, to be fair, you can easily just look at the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, where they tried introducing CGI images to accuse Kyle Rittenhouse. And the judge was like, I don't know, I guess, and allowed them to present computer-generated images as evidence to the jury and tell the jury it was a real photograph. That is horrifying and insane, and it's where we're going. I don't know if the legal system can catch up to this. We don't have the ability to detect deepfakes consistently and uniformly. There's clever tricks people can do. They can take a real recording of you, an actual recording, add 1 or 2 words. Then they can record the recording so no one will be able to tell. I'll put it this way. If someone let's say you said something like, man, you know what I really enjoy? You know what was really fun? When I went out and rode a roller coaster. Someone like this woman takes that recording, changes it. So you said, you know what I really love? I really enjoyed it and then they insert words. Then they'll play that recording on a phone and record it with another phone so it muddies the waveform, makes it harder to detect where the manipulation was. And that's it. Now, of course, you'll argue it's hearsay. They'll say the recording's not admissible, but it won't matter. They'll play it in the news. Everyone in the world will hear this fake statement from you, and there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing that can really be done, I suppose, is you make a counter deep fake where you take that audio, add more audio to it. So you're like, no, here's the real context. And then it changes it to be saying something like, and that's a quote from this person, not me. I never said that. This is where we're currently at. I got deep fears about where the justice system goes, but this lady was using phones and social media to make fake accounts to try and justify her false accusations. Well, how about that? I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. over at youtube.com/TimcastIRL. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.